All right. Hey, folks, it's 5:30. We're going to call this meeting to order. We have three meetings on the agenda here today. We have a pre-town meeting, we have a bond meeting, and we have a regular meeting. All of these are going to be done by tradition. All right. So I'm going to open up the pre-town meeting, and we're going to receive public comments on any ballot questions that are going to be pending. Scott's going to read the petitions that are going to be involved. Scott?
So what I'm going to read is the 2026 warning for the annual town meeting in Wilmington, Vermont, Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. The legal voters of the town of Wilmington are hereby notified and warned to meet at the Old School Community Center, called OSEC, in said Wilmington, Vermont, at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, to consider and act on the following articles not involving voting by Australian ballot. Voting for all Australian ballot articles will be held at the OSEC in said Wilmington, Vermont on March 3rd, 2026 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Article 1 is to elect all town and town school district officers required by law and to authorize the town to obtain a general obligation bond for the purpose of building a solar array on the public safety facility rooftop. That is Australian ballot, polls open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to accept the town report. Article 3, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $3,528,001 to care for the expenses and liabilities of the general fund for fiscal year 2027, and that is July the 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. Article 4, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,051,172 to care for the expenses and liability of the town road budget for fiscal year 2027. Again, that's July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. Article 5, shall the town vote to establish a public safety facility capital fund for the purpose of building maintenance? Article 6, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate an additional $10,000 for a total of $40,000 to Deerfield Valley Rescue, whose purpose is to provide pre-hospital emergency medical care to residents in the towns of Wilmington, Dover, that is east and west, Searsburg, Somerset, and parts of Marlborough and Stratford. Article 7, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate an additional $400 for a total of $1,000 to the Vermont Bar Association, to the Vermont Bar Foundation, whose purpose it is to provide legal services. Community is laser focused on increasing access to justice for Vermonters who are low income, underserved, or marginalized. Article 8, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate an additional $1,400 for a total of $2,400 to Windham County Safe Place, whose purpose is to help children and their families begin the process of healing after a child has been a victim of sexual abuse or egregious physical abuse, conduct quality investigations, reduce stress and trauma to the victim, and protect the victim in the community. Article 9, shall the town vote to allocate the state per parcel payment estimated to be $26,962 to the Reappraisal Reserve Fund. Article 10, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $200,000 to fund the Highway Town Road Equipment Capital Fund. Article 11, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $160,000 to fund the Bridge Capital Fund. Article 12, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $20,000 to fund Highway Building Capital Fund. Article 13, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $220,000 to fund the fire department equipment capital fund? Article 14, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $65,000 to fund the police equipment capital fund? Article 15, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $5,000 to fund the old firehouse capital fund? Article 16, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $100,000 to fund the Memorial Hall capital fund? Article 17, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $12,000 to fund the library capital reserve fund? Article 18, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $75,000 to fund the town hall capital fund? Article 19, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $5,000 to fund the transfer station capital fund? Article 20, shall the town vote to raise and appropriate $150,000 to fund the public lands and fences capital fund and for the purpose of construction and maintenance on Lake Raponda Dam? Article 21, shall the voters authorize payment of real property taxes in 2 installments, with the due dates being August 28th, 2026 and February 26th, 2027, by delivery to Town Hall by 4:30 p.m. on the due date or postmarked on or before the due date. And Article 22 is to transact any non-binding business.
At this point, we're going to ask, does anybody have any questions about what you just heard? John?
You need any questions on any of the articles?
That's correct. I guess let's go back to the budget. That's usually the one that digs up a few comments. Is there something on that you'd like to discuss, John?
One I was just reading about $150,000 for the Lake Raponda Dam. Is that only us, state contributing to that?
The state is not. We own the dam lock, stock, and barrel.
Why does the state think they own all the water?
Well, because the state is the one dictating to us that it must be repaired or dealt with. They also have the option, of course, the Conservancy, what is it? Connecticut River Conservancy would like us to remove the dam, and we're not going to do that. Well,
So we certainly will look for grants. I'm not aware of any right now. We're also working with MSK Engineering out of Bennington, and they usually have a good idea of what monies are available. Currently, I'm not aware of any monies that are available, and we don't have an exact amount of money that this is going to cost, but we're being directed by our insurance company and the state to make changes and improvements on the dam, and that's what the engineers are working on now, is a plan to do that. Once we have the plan, we would go out to bid. In the meantime, it'll take us a couple of years, I think, to get the right amount of money there. On average, a lot of our bridges are costing about $350,000, whether they're large structures or more. And I have a general ballpark on what this is going to cost, but there's no way of knowing until we go out to bid. It'll certainly be over $300,000. So we're putting money away. We put some money away last year. We're putting some money away this year, and we'll have to put some money away next year.
John?
Highway, I'm not picking on the highway, but we're over 10% increase.
Yeah. It's the cost of things have gone through the roof.
So if I got the level fund that, they'll find a way to get the job done.
Well,
I haven't seen the report yet, but Marshall, how much you got in there for paving? Same as it was last year, 400,000? Three something. That was 400 last year. Oh, it's 3 something.
350 or 375 maybe?
360. They're gonna pay You gotta pay to study bacon strips. You know, a little bit on Green Road, a little bit on Cove Road. They don't really know anything because in winter time it costs you more money for maintenance. You gotta send the salt truck out, then I still see the big truck go up there, so what do you gain? What do you gain the thing? So if you're gonna pay in an area like Route 9 to Blue Hill, somewhere on Chimney Hill or something.
John, we are not going to pay Route 9, you know that, right?
Route 9 is like, so Blue Hill, why not?
No, he's saying pay Blue Hill from Route 9 to
Blue
Lake
Hill, okay,
Rhonda. Yeah.
Because it's not ready.
Marshall, could you give him the microphone so other people can hear, please?
I think they can, I like my house water.
Oh, we'll both sit here.
Okay, all right. Any other,
Therese had her hand up.
I'm sorry, Therese.
Back to the dam, I was just curious whether there was a date by which it's to be completed? Is the state demanding a timeframe?
But, as long as we are working toward a resolution, we're still working with the state on what that plan is going to look like. So the engineers are still, I don't know if we would call it a negotiation or not. We have a difference of opinion on some of the approach. And so they're trying to work that out in terms of how much is going to be needed. I'm not sure whether or not I think there's some samples that we have to take or some exploration, I guess we'll call it, that we still have to do. And since it's winter time, I haven't really gotten back to them on that, but we don't have an acceptable plan yet, and we're working on it. So in my mind, we're talking about I'm guessing the next 2 or 3 years, we should have something completed there. That's my best guess.
All right, any other questions? No other questions.
The solar thing under that,
I'm sorry?
can we discuss the solar thing too?
No, that's the next meeting, John.
Well, Article 1 here.
Well, yeah, the ballot question.
It's a ballot.
Oh, the ballot, okay, the
It's on
ballot
our-
question is, the bond issue is going to be decided by Australian ballot.
Right,
It will not be done on the floor at the town meeting.
right, so when can you discuss it?
Very next meeting, we have to do the bond meeting only to satisfy the bonding company. We have to do it twice, all right? So we'll just defer that here for one other point. One other article that's on here is Article 5, talking about to establish the Public Safety Facility Capital Fund. The building is still obviously new. We had not up to this date set up a capital fund for that building. So we're going to start here this year.
What kind of money are we proposing?
Say again,
How much money?
we're just asking to set up the fund.
No, really?
That makes it unlimited,
I'll
John.
vote for that one.
If there are no other questions on these articles, there's not a lot of earth-shattering articles that we have here this year, but if that's the case, I'm going to close this meeting, the pre-town meeting. I think we'll do it, Scott, I think we're going to do it at 5:44. How's that? All right, and then we're going to open up the bond meeting. Are we ready for that? All right. So we're going to open up the bond meeting, and I welcome any and all visitors, and welcome any public comment that may be related to this evening's meeting, as long as it's not an agenda item. Any takers? You look very good like that, Marshall, by the way. Scott, will there be any further changes to the agenda?
So on the bond meeting, I have no other changes. I can start by identifying the information that you're going to look at again. So there'll be two meetings. This is the first one. The second one will be on the 10th at 8:15 in regard to the bond. This was by statute. The town of Wilmington notice to voters a resolution of necessity for capital construction project. That's the title. And the legal voters of the town of Wilmington are hereby notified and warned to meet at the Old School Community Center, OSEC, in said Wilmington, Vermont, at 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. on Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2026, to vote by Australian ballot. The question: shall general obligation bonds of the town of Wilmington be issued in an amount not to exceed $350,000 for the purpose of making certain infrastructure improvements, namely constructing a solar array on the rooftop of the public safety building located at 40 Beaver Street, such improvements estimated to cost a total of $350,000. The resolution, once it is signed, the resolution of necessity, once it's signed, will be able to be viewed in its entirety, and we have a link for that. That is the notice. The resolution of necessity for capital construction project that will be presented to the select board of the town of Wilmington on Thursday, February the 10th, 2026. I'm sorry, Tuesday, not Thursday. Tuesday. Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, and that's at 8:15. And at which time the board will determine that the public interest and necessity demand that for the purpose of making certain infrastructure improvements, namely constructing a solar array on the rooftop of the public safety building located at 40 Beaver Street, and to pay related professional fees and project costs at an estimated capital cost of $350,000. And everything else would be the same. So this is a public information meeting on February the 3rd, 2026. And we started after 5:30 p.m., but that was the initial time. We'll change it to the exact time. And the second meeting by statute is February the 10th at 8:15 a.m. here in the town hall at 2 East Main Street. And it will also be via Zoom. And again, it all acts related to this proposition of incurring bonded indebtedness and the issuance of general obligation bonds for the town for the project be in accordance with provisions of Chapter 53 of Title 24 Vermont Statutes annotated.
So does anyone have any question on the bonding issue for the array? I don't see any questions.
Now you can ask the question. Yeah.
Can you give him the mic?
Give it to John.
I don't know much about solar in Vermont because it doesn't seem too practical.
Sorry, we can't hear.
But
Could you come down here?
Yeah, I come.
So can hear you.
Marshall will deliver the microphone.
All right, this is John Boyd.
so size-wise, how does that compare to the size of the one in the landfill?
At the size of what, John?
The one at the landfill.
When we get to the
It's quite a bit smaller.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And does the one at the landfill bring any revenue in?
He has Mike. He's asking what it is compared to the size.
What's the size of the one at the landfill as compared to the one that's proposed for the public safety building?
Who's this?
Free lanterns.
The town
Free
doesn't,
lanterns.
town doesn't get any revenue out of that?
We get revenue out of it.
There's a small amount in terms of leasing the land, yes.
If that's it. How is this one going to get set up?
This one is going to be on the roof of the building, at least that's the proposal. It has not been engineered yet.
Who's going to clean the snow off it?
That I don't know.
I believe you said from your presentation the last time the snow does not have to be cleaned off it, correct?
No, we can't hear it.
Why don't you come up as well then?
Right, it's right there. Okay. If there's snow and ice on it, ain't gonna produce anything.
Sure.
In your last
I
presentation,
wonder, maintenance wise, who's gonna clear the snow off it?
Well, for maintenance purposes, actually, they're pretty low maintenance. We're talking about a total cost of maybe $500 annually. And it's not expected to shovel the snow off. Many rooftop operations don't shovel snow. And the generation, the amount that the estimated electricity was produced is based on Vermont weather. So it includes clouds and snow on the panels. So unless someone decides that they want to clear the snow off the panels, you don't really have to do that.
And this roof will, handle that solar system?
Pardon, I'm sorry.
Will the roof handle that solar
Yeah,
system?
one of the things is required is the awarded contractor needs to certify to us that the panels will hold the roof will hold the weight of the panels with snow. So they'll have to certify that. I think we have an initial indication that they will, but until we have an exact awarded contract, we don't know the details, the exact weight of those tanks. So yeah, also what will happen is the warranty of the roof material, the manufacturer will have to certify, will have to tell us that the panels are covered by the warranty.
So when somebody else asked a question, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, no, my understanding is the panels have to be clear of ice and snow in order to work.
Correct.
In fact, they just saw that because I watched Marty Sprague do it out there on Route 9 at Viola's old farm. His wasn't working at all, so he had to scrape the whole thing down. So I guess what we're asking is, so what contingency have we created that's going to allow somebody onto the roof during the wintertime to clean these off, to make them useful?
can I step in real quick? So I apologize. I've got a gentleman from Green Mountain Power staying in my property, and he told me they plan out that a lot of their solar panels don't get cleaned off in the wintertime. None of them get cleaned off unless somebody wants to do them.
Right.
And in their forecasting for how much electricity they're going to make in a year, they include it for the time that it's covered in snow.
It can make any sense.
So it doesn't, they're fully aware that it
So they're
doesn't
not
make
using
electricity.
them in the summer, in the wintertime?
If there's snow and ice on them, they're just never cleaned off. None of the panel.
But if I could also interject, is that the energy production during the winter is a fraction of what it is during the summer, obviously. The sun's more intense, the days are longer, the angle of the sun compared to the panels are, so the production, the real true production of the system is in the summer months, spring, summer, fall. As Mr. Foster said, there's no real reason to clear the panels off. You're not going to get a lot of electricity to begin with, and it's not required to. Yes, the capacity of those panels are based on Vermont weather, and it assumes that those panels will be under snow for a specific amount of time.
John?
Was the board in favor of this project?
It was a split vote,
Split, can be split as 5,
3-2.
which obviously.
That's why we're having this.
Okay.
I'm not done trying to convince everyone.
No more questions.
All right, Barker? You have to come over to the microphone, please.
Give me my seat.
Barker Willard, and 2 questions that I just heard. One, we have to have some type of structural thing saying that roof will hold it from one contractor, and then we got to have another engineering thing saying that the roofing membrane or whatever's on there should be able to handle it. But we have to enter into a contract first.
No, it's all part of the contract. My understanding is all part of the contracting process.
It's all included in the request for proposal. That there's a number of things that a proposed plan has to include. One is no interference with emergency radio systems. Number two is no or minimal permeation on the roof membrane, and they have to work with both our radio contractors and and to maintain the warranty, they have to work with the contractor to put the roof membrane on. So they all have to comply that we don't lose our warranty on that. And the third thing was, what was the third thing?
No, there's two criteria that I heard. One was structural and one I heard
Oh,
was.
weight.
Structure,
was
the weight, yes, they have to provide an engineering letter that says that structurally it will withstand the solar that they're putting on there.
My question is, though, prior to a $300,000 bond loan, whatever being issued, all that has to be figured out at zero cost to the town.
Well, it's part of the request for proposal that they have to, there's a certain number of things that they have to do. The primary thing they have to do first is to guarantee that there's no interference with the radio systems. That's number one. Otherwise the proposal doesn't go.
That makes total sense. But
Otherwise, the
if the roof
proposal-
comes down, nothing else matters because it's got.
So the next thing that they have to provide is an engineering letter that indicates what they're going to put on that roof is structurally sound, would be structurally sound. We already have some indication that that is the case, because that's the way the building, the rooftop and the building was built. But we are requiring them to have a letter indicating that their work on top of that will make the roof will be structurally sound for what they're planning.
What is the roof and material current? Now this is probably relevant, but just out of my own care, how long are they saying that's a membrane roof? I'm guessing, correct?
Yeah.
What is, or whoever installed it, what is the time frame they're given for a warranty on that roof?
I don't remember the answer to that. It's 20 to 30 years, isn't it?
It's 20 years. So about the time that maybe those panels go kaput.
Could be, well, let me just add that, I mean, it's pretty common knowledge now that the solar system installed on the roof, assuming penetration is not compromised the roof, the solar panels will increase the life of the roof, because what you're doing is shielding the roof from what? The sun, which damages the roof. So actually, your solar panels will add to the life of your roof.
I'll give you that little piece.
Okay, thank you.
But when you put a blah amount of holes down through it, it don't matter what the sun is doing to it. You already got holes going down through it, unless you're putting all the structures not even going to permeate that.
They're minimal. I mean, part of the see exactly what the plan is from
Install.
Right, thank you. But we're not looking for penetrations at all. They're looking for a ballast system, which is sort of a rack with weight on the bottom of the rack to hold the panels. And
So it's more a sleeper system.
Right, something like it doesn't penetrate the roof.
Thank you.
Any other questions? That being the case, Scott, it's now. It's now 5:59, and I'm going to close the bond meeting.
Thank you.
All right, we're up to the next regular meeting. What do we have now? Now it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to call the regular meeting to order. Welcome any and all visitors. Welcome any public comment somebody would like to make that is unrelated to our agenda items. All right? This is the select board meeting.
Jason Duvac, Searsburg, Vermont. So, I said at the 9/16 select board meeting that your banner signs on the telephone poles were illegal. I said that they were in the line of sight of commercial truck traffic. And I was told they were permitted, and they're not. They're not permitted. They've changed hands multiple times. And as I understand it now, Wilmington Works is responsible for half of them, and the economic division is responsible for the other half of them. But I just wanted to make sure as a fact that you know on record that they're not permitted.
All right, so noted.
Filed complaints with the state on that. Also filed complaints with the state on the project that you did on the balustrade, which is the railing on the town manager's office, and the roof work on the second floor. That was done without a sign package. It was done by a contractor that didn't use personal protection equipment. They blocked the sidewalk and part of the street lane for multiple days. I was assured by Mr. Tucker when I started dealing with him on July 15th of 2 years ago, this July, that he gets all his permits and everything has to be right as rain. And then I had a different question that you're gonna put aside the volunteering for another date. Do you have the date that you're gonna discuss that on a public
No.
meeting? So would that be at another select board meeting or?
That would be another meeting. That's correct.
But like a regular scheduled select board
Scheduled
meeting or a
meeting.
special meeting that you're
No,
gonna do? on-
scheduled meeting.
Okay. And out of curiosity, I went to the budget meetings and I kind of put in a request that, some money should be aside if a third-party firm needs to do the sign study, which is suggested in section 2, Article 2, section 218 in the zoning administrator's zoning administrator's guidelines, that a sign study should be done, completed, and then should always be kind of kept up and added to. Did anything come of that?
No,
Okay.
just so that you know, you did not attend a budget meeting. You attended the town plan meeting.
Right, but I
That had
just,
nothing to do with budget.
well, I'm just trying to get the word out that this should be done. It's recommended that it's
We have
done.
no intention of doing it. Jeff.
I'm sure you don't, because that would make an equal playing field
No,
for
well,
everybody. You know what I mean?
You keep bringing things up that really aren't relevant. Okay,
Your own signs don't have a permit,
Well,
but
well,
you're threatening me with
we'll take
$100
care
a
of
day for crayon
you
markings.
keep filing your complaints and we'll take care of it.
I will. Sad. Very sad.
All right.
This is the judicial branch.
All right, so folks, we're going to now approve. Scott, do we have any more changes to the agenda?
So number 5, I'm gonna delete the volunteer policy for tonight.
Okay,
Number 7, I've added 2 items I need approval on. There are 2 grants from the rec program, rec commission.
that's the one on the education track after school grant.
Yes,
Okay.
and the Smarter Growth Planning Grant.
All right,
Yes.
all right. We can do that. And so then we're going to move on to the minutes of the meeting.
Motion to approve?
All right, motion to approve the minutes of January 20th, 2026. We have a second?
Second it.
All right, we have motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Scott,
There are action items. The select board to possibly accept the resignation of Lewis Clark from the Petty, Petty Memorial Library Board of Trustees. There's a letter in your packet. He Lewis states that he's been a trustee of the library for 18 years. And unfortunately, personal issues have occurred that make it difficult for him to perform the duties of trustee to the degree he feels is beneficial to the library. He believes it's in the best interest of the library for him to resign as trustee, and therefore he is resigning. Effective Saturday, January 31st, 2026. The remaining trustees are aware of his resignation and have taken steps to cover his responsibilities. And he will be available to assist with the transition if needed.
Okay. I think this was expected. I think Lou was going to do this anyway, step down. So would somebody like to make a motion to accept Lewis Clark's resignation with regret?
So moved.
Great, good
Second.
one. All right, we have a second.
Second.
Wait, motion is second to accept the resignation of Lewis Clark from the Petty Memorial Library Board of Trustees with regret. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Scott?
Item number 4, Cliff Duncan is here to discuss the Wyndham County Law Enforcement Governance Council. You have a copy of the bill in your packet, 9 pages.
Can I ask you a quick question? Did you just strike the volunteer policy from the agenda tonight?
You did.
Okay, so any comments you want next meeting or?
You and I will have a discussion.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
Don't forget your coat.
Okay, so thanks for having me back. As you may recall, when I was here a month or so ago talking about what I perceived was a bit of an opportunity in the wings for us to be the beneficiary of a county-wide property tax. This is a further expansion upon that conversation. I've talked with Scott a couple times, and Scott's background in law enforcement was helpful. The packet I just gave you, some communication that he shared with me that gives the select board members a bit of a perspective on why we do it the way we do it, which I think is kind of important to understand the extent to which this proposal, which is now an actual thing, S-255, has been floated in the Senate to do exactly what Jeanette White said needed to be done in the Valley News article I recounted when I was here a month or so ago. They want to tweak law to give the counties in Vermont the authority and the ability, which they don't currently have, to tax through a property tax the funding of police services in the county. And when they say police services, they're talking about specifically the county police services. So this would be like the Wyndham County Police source for services. There's in your packet, as Scott mentioned, is the measure of 255. What I'd like to do is I've just got a few bullet points that I'd like to share with you after reading the measure, understanding a little bit more about it since I was here a month ago. And it's actually a piece of legislation now. What I see as the big issues that we need to concern ourselves with. My goal tonight here is to get the select board as fired up as I can to tell the tax man we pay enough already. Is there anybody in this room that thinks they don't already pay enough in property taxes?
Well, it's unfortunate because Emily was here on Zoom here tonight, our state rep.
Who is?
Emily.
She was.
She was.
Yeah.
She kind of.
And Tom, I don't know the status of this measure in the House. I don't know if there's a
Well, crossover is is a month away from today, I think, or yesterday. Okay. All right, so we're getting close. It's not going to last long.
So my goal here is to not only get you excited about this in the way that we need to be, but to encourage you again to get both our sitting senators from Bennington, since we're in their senatorial district, and our representatives here in a room will announce a meeting for the public to come in and let them know what they feel about this, about paying more in property taxes. So if I could, I just wanted to touch on real quickly, and I'm happy to answer any questions I might. But first of all, and I don't like to read from things like this because I know enough about this talking off the top of my head, but I want to make sure I touch on all the points. Other than the Windham County Sheriff's desire to no longer work under the longstanding solicited contract format for the Windham County Sheriff's Services, what law enforcement problem does this legislation address that is currently not already being met by existing state police and in some cases shared municipal police services of served towns to towns without their own force? So we, and Matt knows, we have, many times helped neighboring communities who don't have their own police force. And that's great. I think that's fine. I support that. The Vermont State Police already provides countywide police and law enforcement services, including and especially in towns without their own municipal police services. Page 4, if you can go to that bill, page 4 of S-255 states that the powers and duties of the council, which is a newly created body by this measure, that will basically be the end-all be-all of the framework under which the Windham County Sheriff's Department in our county will go under contract with. Each of these powers and duties already provided under the existing Windham County Sheriff's Department contractual framework are included in the duties of the council. S-255 does not appear to improve upon existing Windham County Sheriff's powers or duties, but does impose yet another layer of property taxation to an already overly burdened Vermont property taxpayers. So again, what is this bill attempting to fix? The current contractual arrangement with the Windham County Sheriff's Department enables each town requesting their service to retain complete control of what level of funding it chooses to spend in this regard. Section 5 in this measure bypasses that control and replaces it with a council's determination on what will be spent. Page 5, section 5B states non-member municipalities, that would be us, probably, shall not be assessed or charged for council services. Well, what's a non-member? Non-member would be if you have your own police force and you choose not to become a member of this council, you can opt out. Well, this reminds me when the legislature stated that Act 60 would require 11 gold towns to contribute to a statewide property tax fund for the purpose of funding public education. And we were told that that was all that was needed to shore up everybody else's inability to meet their financial obligations for property taxation to fund schools. Other towns in Vermont would not be assessed for the purposes of funding Act 60. That's what we were told. Well, how did that work out?
Just so that you know, I saw the final tally today since we no longer have Act 60. It's 129.9 million that we paid into it. 2 days, correct.
So does anyone doubt that once in place, non-member municipalities will find themselves in the future where they too will be contributing to the council's budget because the legislature has determined that the council member towns simply can't afford Windham County policing services on their own? Sound familiar? Page 5, section 6, service delivery. The Windham County Sheriff's Department shall provide enforcement and related services to member municipalities as specified by the council. It is my understanding that currently WCS, Windham County Sheriff Services, are provided as specified by each town under which WCS is in contract with. So that's a huge usurpation of that control. B, in that same section, the council and sheriff shall enter into an annual service agreement. It is my understanding that currently the town being served under a contract with WCS has that control over what types and levels of services will be provided. Section 6, the last one, if such a deviation from long-standing WCS arrangements via contractually abiding by local town control begs the question, is this really about policing at all? Or is it about expanding and establishing a new framework of taxation on a county level, property taxation on a county level, that like Act 60 and other initiatives before it, will grow into this bureaucratic behemoth, driving already ridiculous property tax rates in Vermont even higher. The Sheriff's Department spends a great deal of time running interference for highway and utility construction in Vermont highways. Perhaps they should consider relinquishing that business to private entities so that they can focus on what they say they need to really be doing regarding policing the most rural parts of our state. And I don't see any indication as stated in Act 255, Senate version 255, that legal services or coverage will be improved if this passes. So again, the framework of this, I think, in my humble opinion, is something that we need to get our representation.
Have you spoken to the sheriff yourself?
I have not.
Okay.
What started this off for me, Tom? Was
No. We understood when you come in here before and mentioned that. We have written some letters. They haven't gone out yet, but we have written some letters. Once this bill all of a sudden appeared, we didn't expect the bill to be appearing. We have not spoken with Emily either. That's why I was hoping she would have stayed on tonight. But yes, Seth Bongartz, who we had down here back in the fall, and the other gentleman, Scott from Bennington. We've got 2 new senators here this year.
What scares me is what Jeanette White said, former senator.
She's still behind the scenes, isn't she?
Just
She's
a
still
little
there.
tweaking. Just a little tweaking is all we need to do to make this measurable. That translates into being a fast track. And I think that this is something that could sneak through in the dark of night, and we wouldn't know until it's in place. And that's not right. Our senators need to be put on notice that this community has had enough with property tax rates. And Dover needs to do the same thing. I'm planning to go up there too. We need to get fired up about this because this is just more of the same. I can't believe they are even thinking about piling on like this. It's absolutely pathetic.
Is this only Wyndham County out of the whole state, or is
No, I believe this
a statewide
covers
program?
all counties in the whole state of Vermont. That's my understanding.
This is a pilot.
One county to pilot to start?
The way the bill was introduced was a pilot in Wyndham County.
I see.
Also, it's not.
No, it's based on what the bill, the way the bill
Unless
is.
they change it.
No, the way the bill is, well, of course, this is the beginning. They've introduced it. They've had one, I found where they had one committee meeting. The sheriff testified, as well as the legislative council and a few other people have testified. I think there's a list of testimony was from Senator Wendy Harrison. She's a sponsor, and the chair, Tim Devlin, is the legislative counsel. Jeanette White, the former senator, was there, and Sheriff Mark Anderson. And that testimony took place on Thursday, January 29th at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
It's in the Senate Committee on Gov Ops.
So does Jeanette still work for the Sheriff Department? Now that she's retired?
I don't know.
Now, she retired from the Senate.
Right.
And I haven't seen her around. I'm kind of surprised to see her name back on this.
Robert, the other senator from Bennington is Robert Plunkett, who usually comes with Senator Bongartz.
So is there any reason why the board wouldn't collectively decide that it was in the community's best interest to hold a meeting with our senators and our rep as soon as possible in this room?
Yeah, there's no reason not to. As long as we can get Seth and the guys down here. And Emily. I'm sure Emily will come. She's still.
I don't even know there's a sister bill in the House.
It would have to be a special meeting because they work in the legislature Tuesday through Friday. So it would probably have to be a Monday night meeting.
Well, better. Maybe the paper would be willing to give us some billing to get some people here.
If we can get them to come down, we would very much do that. And Seth Bongartz, he's good. He's good. Seth is real good, is what he's been doing. The other gentleman is new. He's new, but he's trying hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen that response, from Jeanette and the rest of them years ago that, when we were attached to Bradley. These guys are at least doing something for us.
And I think it's vitally important that meeting include Chief Morano to be here because he has a longstanding place in policing in the state of Vermont.
Well,
he knows a lot about, particularly as a chief, what goes on in the background, bureaucratically speaking, and how these entities we have in place already function or don't function. And I think that would also be an opportunity to give our representation in Montpelier a perspective they might not otherwise have. So I hope we'll be able to come.
But you're right, no, we will be much more active on that. Okay, and we will get the, as soon as we get them down here, you're gonna get your can down here also. Is that correct?
Say that again? As soon as,
When we get them come down here on a Monday evening, hopefully,
yeah,
you also will be here.
absolutely,
Okay, thank you.
absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Cliff.
Thanks, Cliff.
Okay, my pleasure.
Hey, everything else going all right? Never see you around anymore.
Yeah, well, that's some personal stuff.
Okay, all right,
It's all good. Everything's good.
all right.
Had some challenges, but we conquered them. Managed, right?
No, no, it's
One day at
just,
a time.
I think it's the age group is shrinking. That's.
Yeah, yeah,
A little bit?
yeah. Thanks very much.
All right.
again.
Hey, Cliff.
All right, Scott, number 5.
I'd like to tackle the select board to possibly approve the amended personnel policy. You have the amendments in your packet as not a red line. I will walk you through the changes, and I'm going to ask the chief to come up for a minute. Chief Morano, come up for a minute. Okay, so the 2026 personnel manual changes. I'm going to give you the highlights at tonight's meeting. So the effective date at the top will be February the 3rd, 2026. In the table of contents, under section 14, it's XIV. The contrary contract section was removed. And the reason for that is we're replacing that as like one sentence, replacing it elsewhere in the personnel manual. Under table of contents, section XIX, health insurance, code of ethics, the item that says where can I get copies of this policy, and receipt of gifts chart is added. These were previously approved by the select board. They're being officially added to the manual, which we neglected to do the last time.
Okay.
Under section 1, name of administrative rules and authority, page 4, in the 5th paragraph. This was a cleanup for language, and we removed the town nurse. Moving a section from XIV, it's called pay plan, and we dropped it in here in section 1, and it reads, the provisions of these regulations shall prevail except in cases where contrary contractual agreement exists between the employee and the town. So this is existing language and was moved to this location. Under section IX, conduct of employees, you'll see a section that says receipt of gifts, and that language was eliminated, and we added, the select board has adopted the Vermont State Ethic Commission gift chart posted at the end of this manual. Under section B, under the same section IX, under conduct of employees, is a drug and alcohol policy for CMV operators. And what we did is we replaced sections with an updated VLCT policy. And one of the numbers in there is incorrect. It talks about the weight of the vehicle being over 10,001 pounds. That was incorrect. And we've replaced that number with 26,001 pounds or more, I believe is what it says in there. Anyhow, that update was based on the Vermont League of Cities and Towns recommendations. In section XIII. It's under leaves of absence, vacation. A paragraph that was in there initially was removed regarding accrued vacation time for the police department, and we've replaced it now with 5 paragraphs outlining vacation leave, cash out requisitions subject to review by the police chief and town manager. It provides guardrails and requires a minimum of taking 2 weeks of vacation prior to the anniversary date. And the chief can explain why he asked for that change.
34. Playing more time catching up to you.
Oh,
X11312.
Yeah, how about 12? Yeah, how about
I'm
the same?
sorry.
Roman numeral
I'm
12.
sorry.
All of a sudden I heard 34.
I'm sorry. Is everyone caught up?
Yep.
Most of this,
we're on 34
most
now.
of this is pretty much housekeeping, and this was the main change here.
You're not?
Yeah, you still have to.
Oh, we're on now?
You're still good enough.
All right, page 39. All right, which one is it?
Those are the-
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness, 38 now?
It depends on
The format you have. So
next.
Which section are we looking at?
Next page.
What section we in there now?
712?
Okay, so
XII?
so under vacation, if you find vacation,
Yep,
Yes, 38.
page 37 on my copy.
there was a paragraph there that
37. We all got it. We're there, 37.
so there was a paragraph there that was relatively brief and didn't really
Okay, thank you.
take into account all the things that the chief had asked for. We made that change back in 2023, but this, I think, is a little bit fuller.
Thank you, Russ.
So it talks about full-time, non-exempt sworn police department officers who have accrued vacation leave in excess of a maximum accrual permitted. They may request payment for such excess leave. I'll just let the chief sort of give you a little bit of background on what he's looking for. So the rest of it you can read.
So we already had within the existing policy, the cash out option where unused vacation time could be cashed out. This just spells out the circumstances that must be in place. 1, we must be short-handed. 2, they must have excess time. 3, it has to be approved by myself and the town manager. And they must use in that calendar year a minimum of their 2 weeks of paid leave prior to taking this option. Now, this is beneficial in some ways to the department and our budget because using leave time, we must backfill those spots. So, somebody must be on duty. So I don't have the option of people taking leave and shutting the office, and that's the end of it. So we always incur overtime when there's vacation leave, training, sick time, things like that come around. We do want to encourage people to use their leave time, but there are circumstances where we have employees that really pick up a lot of shifts and do a lot of work, especially when we're shorthanded. And this is the opportunity for them not to lose that time, but also see the parameters in which they can try and cash it out. So it doesn't cost us anything extra out of our budget, actually saves the town money in the overtime backfill costs. So if somebody cashes it out, it's better for my budget, but they are on no pressure for me to do that, just to be clear.
The biggest stretch seems to be the 5 to 14 years of completed service, where you have 4 weeks of vacation time. How much of your department falls into that bracket at this point, would you say?
Roughly,
5 years.
yeah, it's probably 50% or 60%, including my dispatchers.
Yeah.
But we did not change that. That's
Existing.
That's pre-existing, that section.
Thank you.
Thank you. With me?
That'll work, that'll work.
You don't want to talk about budgeting for that new cruiser?
Can I just ask real quick, sorry, Matt, Chief, just
Sorry?
so just real quick, we're on the vacation, you have years of FTE completed. And then the next paragraph is full-time officers, but that schedule is exactly the same. Is there a reason that's separated?
So originally, the town personnel policy, the police had a separate leave schedule.
Okay.
At some point in the past timeframe, the town has adopted.
So in 2023, I had non-police officers. We were hiring older people, and they had a stronger interest in time off.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit of a trade-off. So we kept it there in the event that there's some differences that we decide in the future between police and other personnel. So originally they had the better leave time, which is encouraged, of course. And these days we're trying to make changes to retain our other workers as well. And leave time was one of the least intrusive ways of doing it. I had people wanted more leave faster for family kinds of things, taking care of parents and other loved ones and things of that nature.
Okay. Just look redundant, that's fine, thank you.
See you around.
Section
That scratch off.
Section XIV.
On page
Page 14.
Notice,
39.
gracious.
It says pay plan.
Yep.
This is where the contrary contract section was removed and placed in section 1. So you may not even see that there.
Okay.
Section XIX is other policies. I mentioned this before. These are added previously approved policy for health insurance and code of ethics. Those are previously approved.
Page 46.
So a lot of housekeeping here.
Yes, 46. Thank you.
That's 47.
Just checking to see if anybody's sleeping tonight.
Vince is paying attention.
Oh, this would keep anybody wide awake.
Yeah.
You must be used to this stuff. You have to reach all. Insurance stuff.
Jesus Christ, I don't want to think about that.
Good.
All right. So Scott, was that the end of it, or?
If I could get an approval?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, that's all.
I just thought,
Second. Second.
I
We're
just
still
kind
trying
of
to find.
thought you were going to
XVP too.
stop the pain now. Okay.
Listen, I gave you the highlights, not every.
All right. So what we're gonna do is obviously we're gonna approve this, or at least put it out there to approve it.
Vince made a motion and I second.
All right. Select board to possibly approve the amended personnel policy as outlined by the town manager. All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, I move that we go into the liquor commission. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Scott?
The Liquor Commission to possibly approve an open container exemption permit and a request to cater permit at Memorial Hall, Pickwell's Barn, Village Roost, Vermont House, Alpenglow, Bartleby's, Mill and Whistle, and Ratu's for the beer and chili stroll on March 27th from 4 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. catered by W.I. Foster Inc.
Well, let's put our shock face on here, okay? All right, obviously, Charlie, you will abstain from this. And Chief, you've looked at this?
Yeah, I communicated with them.
Okay.
I volunteered Marshall's message boards to help explore traffic, so.
All I heard is you volunteered Marshall, so that's good. Yeah, thank you, Marshall.
All right, folks, Chief has checked us out. We're all set to go. All right, so would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, okay?
Yeah. You got it.
I'll make motion for liquor commission to approve an open container exemption permit request to cater permit at Memorial Hall, Pickles Barn, Village Roots, Vermont House, Appen Grove, Barnaby's, Mill and Whistle, and Ratu's for the beer and chili show on March 27th from 4 to 7:15 PM, catered by WI Foster Inc.
Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Charlie abstains.
I abstains.
Happy to
All
be
right.
here.
I come
Pam,
on.
thank you,
I
Pam.
move that we come out of the liquor commission. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Scott, other business?
We would like you to consider the March 3rd meeting, since you are going to be needed at 7 PM to count votes, and whether or not you would like to cancel that meeting.
Or reschedule, or,
Yeah, I mean, if we have something that has to be acted upon, we can schedule a special meeting.
So you want to do the forming meeting, the reform, whatever?
But that would be your next meeting after the 3rd.
Okay.
Yes, and if that's what you'd like to do, we could.
Well, we
could
can do it
schedule
either
that.
one. We can do it either one.
We could schedule.
We don't want to have the gap that we had last year.
So you want to schedule it for the following Tuesday then? So
The
you'll have
following
two
Tuesday.
Tuesdays, so you'll have 2 Tuesdays in a row.
Say that 10 times fast.
That'll be the 10th.
Next 14.
Along with extra, yeah.
Unless you want a different date that week. What's your pleasure?
Following week
I
is
can do
fine.
the 4th, but the 10th is also. 10th is the following Tuesday.
I'm away the whole week of the 9th, so,
of March, okay.
of February, March. Oh, March, no, never mind, I'm in the wrong month. No, I'm good. I'm good.
So March the
Okay, so
3rd.
John's good with it.
March the 3rd at 7
That's all
PM. Teresa's going to be looking for you at OSEC.
Right.
So do you want to just move to the following Tuesday, or do you want another day that week to do some of your reorganization and whatnot?
What, give me some dates, please.
4th, 5th, or 6th is that week. 4th, 5th,
Okay.
or 6th is that week.
Well, I think that would come after the 3rd, right? Let's see. So we have,
The 10th
4th,
is the following Tuesday.
4th is the Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 4th is the Wednesday.
Which I can
Let's
do.
look, see if we can do it Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Can we do it in the morning?
That's up to you
It's
as a
up-
board.
It's up to
It's
you.
up, it's what it is the in here. For the 5th, I would go with the following week.
Is your pleasure at 8:15 on the 4th?
We go later, like 9, and
Is
then I
your,
could be there.
is your pleasure 9 AM on the 4th?
Where are you going to be those days? Nantucket, Florida, Costa Rica?
I gotta
Oh,
serve
Teresa
breakfast.
doesn't
You
come,
wanna
wait,
come up
no,
and
wait, Teresa doesn't come in until noon. And she has to swear in new select board members before they can do any business. So if we can either do afternoon or Thursday morning.
All right, so
I
let's
think
look at Thursday
first-
morning. What's the
You
date?
can't do
5th?
The
Thursday.
5th.
That's the 5th?
You can't,
All right.
Thursday
Vince
morning,
can't
we,
do
Bytown.
Bytown Economic.
Are people free in the afternoon?
I can skip Bytown Economic. It's fine.
Vince can't do Thursday.
Teresa, what
Do
time?
Wednesday, just don't do 8:15. I'm out till at least.
No, we're talking about 9 AM right now. Is that all right?
No, it's not all right.
How about 11?
Why don't we just
11?
do noon on
Why don't you just come
Okay,
in right
I-
after the other thing?
Yeah,
Come-
she gets
come
her
directly
calm
from
time
school
the day
here.
after that town meeting.
So why don't I can send out an email and poll sometimes, because we have a month.
Okay, yeah, do
So
that, do
let's schedule
that.
for the 3rd, but we'll schedule a time. It'll be,
Schedule for the 4th.
right, that Wednesday. And I'll figure out a time, late morning, that may work for people, if that works. Rather than,
Shoot for 9.
Okay. All right, so Scott, let's,
Ready to move on?
The NRC, yes.
This is a possible approval of the Vermont Natural Resources Council, VNRC, Smart Grants for Smarter Growth, $2,500 planning grant for Buzzy Town Park. So this is a grant that Sarah, the chair of the rec grant, Sarah Molina, put in for. Remember that we were looking for a larger grant and then we didn't get that. So she put in for this planning grant for Buzzy Town Park and was awarded $2,500.
Okay.
I just need your approval.
All right. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the bond for Sarah and the Recreation Department.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Vermont Natural Resources Council Smart Grant for Smarter Growth for the amount of $2,500 planning grant for Buzzy Town Park.
All right, do you have a second?
Second.
Motion and second to approve the VNRC Smart Grants for Smarter Growth, $2,500 planning grant for Buzzy Town Park. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Scott?
Possible approval of Agency of Education Program Track After School Grant. This is a 3-year grant totaling $86,766 for the Recreation Commission. Again, Sarah worked on that with the help of Christine Richter, and we were able to get it through. It was not an easy process.
Really?
Well, they had to do with education, so.
Okay. All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the Agency of Education Program Track After School Grants for 3 years totaling $86,766 for the Recreation Committee.
All right, do you have a second?
Second.
This is a fairly substantial grant too, considering it's the Recreation Department.
It's
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the after-school grant for 3 years totaling $86,766 for the Recreation Commission. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Scott? I'm sorry, Select Board members, comments. John, we'll start with you.
Not at this time.
Okay. Tony?
Good.
All right, Vince?
Not at this time.
All right. Charlie?
Good to go.
All right. I have nothing either. Scott, we'll have the town manager updates.
So I know sand has been on your mind with all the news about sand. We have sand.
I thought it was salt that we worried about.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to the salt.
Oh, okay, I just kind of thought, we still have
Marshall's-
Green Mountain Beach with sand.
Marshall has some sand, but stockpiles in the area are low. So suppliers are trucking, but with the storm that we've been seeing every day, we've of course used a lot, especially with the ice that we had, I think last month. So salt is in the same boat. It's coming, but going out almost as fast. Budgets for both of these two items will be gone. However, today or yesterday, I heard that we actually have a pretty good stockpile of the salt. But in January, we've gone beyond, we've gone over the contract price. Oh, on the line. Okay. We'll probably go over the line. We expect to be over budget as well. Truck repairs, they've had a lot of little repairs, but they're adding up. Brake work on 3 of the big trucks so far. 2 tires were blowouts on the big trucks, and truck 10 wiring I think had some problems. And with all the ice this year, we're using up the supplies of tire chains, and we believe we have enough to make it through the winter, but we'll have to order a lot more for next season. Marshall's learned how to give you, manage your expectations on his lines now. So overall, after January the 27th, overall the storm went okay. 2 breakdowns on that Sunday night and 1 Monday afternoon. We were able to fix everything in-house. The two on Sunday night were fixed, and then that following afternoon, we're waiting for parts that will be here shortly, or has already been here probably. Sidewalks were completed by early morning, and we had a few complaints on that big snowfall on the sidewalks, but it takes us a day or two to move everything with loaders and trucks and everything else on the sidewalk. And as soon as we clear something, the state comes through, and that ended up being somewhat heavy coming off the road. So that's all backhoe, grader, and loader work. And we're in the process. We have been in the process of moving the banks back and opening intersections for visibility. So that's sort of everything you've actually seen. Everything looks clear today, and we're actually doing okay with sand and salt at this moment.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry. Going back to sand and salt. So can we, no, forget it. Go ahead. We're good. Forget it.
Why don't you do X1?
X1 for, I'll talk to you offline.
Marshall will stay after class, okay?
This paraprofessional didn't come in today.
I get confused on some of the roads that are paved that we have like snow cover on and sand, right? Is that intentional for grip or?
Sand and salt?
So are you talking?
I always talk this one road that you and I always talk about.
We'll
okay?
talk about it.
Yes. Go ahead.
Of course, temperatures also contribute to some of the ice.
I'll talk to him after.
On February the 2nd, GPI was here, starting work at Memorial Hall on the floodproofing project. And if you've been by Memorial Hall, you probably have seen some of the windows boarded up. I believe the basement windows are all completed in terms of the window work on those. And
The windows are so it's actually natural light.
And so there's light coming through there now. And I believe there's probably 2 windows that will actually open downstairs. This is the way we planned it. We'll see if that works. So there are some concerns that Marshall and I and representative from GPI talked about. And of course, it comes down to electricity, water, and heat, which is something that we mentioned to them, but we're working with them on finding solutions so they can get their work done. And they are committed. He told me himself he's committed, and despite the cold weather. In terms of, we have a zoning permit notice of violation. The compliance deadline was October of 2025. That was at 220 Lake Laponda, and we're working with legal and the landowners on that.
Is that the new home? That's.
Yeah, with the walkway into our road and whatnot. It's beyond the footprint.
Oh, yeah.
And some other issues. Defendant's motion for summary judgment was granted. That is us in the Lacombe revocable trust case. And the court has affirmed the Wilmington Board of Civil Authorities CLA of 91.38%. That's as established by the state. And the undisputed fair market value of the property was at $475. The issue of the appraised value is remanded to the Wilmington Board of Civil Authority for calculation consistent with this decision. And if it hasn't come to the clerk yet, it will.
You don't have it?
No. It's your advance notice. We finished the case with Mr. Ziskowski. That was on January 27th at 10 a.m. Our side and their side made their case, and now we're waiting for the judge to rule. And that is all I have for you tonight.
Okay. So nothing on Zaringer or the rest of them, they're also still pending?
Zaringer is still pending. I believe we have a court. We might have I think we have a court date on that one. April the 28th.
All right.
So that's, this is the case where BCA upheld the $938,110 assessment.
Right. Okay. All right. Anyone else have anything for the good of Wilmington? None being seen, I will entertain motions for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion, we have a
Several
motion to
seconds.
adjourn in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's the loudest I you hear
Yeah,
all night
yeah,
long.
yeah.
Thank you.
We'll put into item 124379 X. So Tony, what happened? You thought Wednesday was